everybody. Dawn McGee here, your wellness strategist and nutrition evangelist. And today we're talking about what happens when something that felt like a plateau or floating along turns into a chasm and what to do about it. So what do I mean? So I've been fielding some calls and questions from my clients. We've been talking a lot about how to manage the summer so that you are not heads down and you're not missing all the fun, and so that your fall looks how you want it to look. Sometimes that can be a very tricky balance, and what felt yesterday like a mindful coasting, we'll call it, when you look back at it, it was really a little bit more of a plateau, and then it sort of started to dive down into a rut or a chasm. And maybe doing less has turned into doing nothing. And so, whether it's from a business perspective and you're looking around going, ruh where did all my clients go? What happened to my pipeline? I'm not talking to anybody new. Or maybe it's with your own personal health journey and you're saying, oh, that maintenance plan I had put together for the summer has now turned into extra bloat and not feeling great and not sleeping as well. And it's time to do something about it, because if you just do nothing, things are going to continue in the same direction that they're going, which, if that's not a positive direction, then you're going to wake up after Labor Day and feel even worse about all the things. So, as you know, there's a lot of synergy between how you manage your personal health and how you manage your wellness business. And that's why I talk a lot about both of them, because very often the principles that apply to one apply to another. And so the next best steps that you can take, regardless of where you are, whether you're happy with where you are or whether you woke up and went, oh, the summer's half over and I'm not feeling so great about any of it, are a couple things. One is take an honest assessment of where you are and how you got here. What things did you maybe not implement that you were planning on doing, that you can just fairly quickly turn back around and put onto a positive track instead of a negative track? Things like maybe, having a couple of drinks on the weekends with friends turned into a nightly drink and nightly happy hour. And you can flip that to having PFC balanced meals and non alcoholic drinks and still have just as much fun. It's really about the mindset that you approach that with. Maybe it turned into staying out and up later and you're not getting as much sleep, and that impacts everything. You can flip that around as well. So each little piece that isn't going as planned can be flipped back into a direction where you are being mindful, intentional, and planning so that you're going to feel a whole lot better about your health or your business. I know for me that I let things slip over the last week. I had a crazy week with a variety of like tactical stuff that I felt like I had to get done, and so all of the stuff that I had planned um, to be done for other things in my business didn't get done. And I'm you know embarrassed to say it, and at the same time I'm not too embarrassed to say it, because I think it's important that we all know that pivots happen and life happens, and the question is, what do you do next in order to turn things back around? So I'm putting things back into my calendar this week. I'm making sure that they all get done. I do have an excellent VA team that holds me accountable and said, hey, you didn't do the stuff that you said you were going to do last week. And I'm scheduling my meetings that slipped off last week's calendar. So will I have a couple of extra ones this week? I will. I don't have to. I could continue to sort of keep at the same level, but I decided that I want to catch up. And so I'm going to get things back into gear and get things moving again. Now, that has an impact on your whole life, right? So maybe it means not socializing as much this week. Although, you know what? Tomorrow night I'm going to a cooking class to learn how to make hand-pulled noodles, which seem to be all the rage in restaurants this year. And then I've got plans to go see a cool local band on Friday. So it's about balance. I'll be playing pickleball on Thursday and Saturday, and lunch with a friend also on Thursday. So there's all sorts of stuff sprinkled in. You don't have to let go of the fun piece in order to do the work piece. And at the same time, I have rescheduled in other connection calls and networking meetings and all sorts of things that I need to do in order to keep my business moving in the right direction. So, really, in a nutshell, what's the next best thing to do is decide whether you want to catch up or just get back on track and get those things back into your calendar this week so that they don't slip off again. And if you're struggling with how to balance all that, let me know. I've got a couple of single strategy sessions that I've opened up, and I'm happy to work with you so that you can take your chaos back into order. As always, what I hope for you is that you live a life you love without giving up the things that bring you joy. And until next week, ciao.